Well, hey everyone, I'm so excited that you are joining us for this virtual chat. We have got a great presentation for you today from Centre College. We're so excited to have Clay and Karina from the admissions team to share with you, and I'm going to just go ahead and turn it over to them.
Sure, nice. Welcome everybody. As Miss O'Rourke said, my name is Clay Taylor, and I'm an assistant director of admission here at Centre College, and I'm also a 2016 grad. So I'm excited to tell you all a little bit more about Centre today, but I'm going to pass the mic to my colleague Karina, who's actually going to be your admission counselor, who's going to be reading your applications. So Karina, can you introduce
Hi
yourself?
guys, my name is Karina. Like Clay said, I will be your counselor through this process. Towards the end, if you guys have questions, I can definitely drop my email in the chat. But please feel free to ask us any questions that you guys may have. And in the meantime, please enjoy our presentation.
Nice, nice. And Karina is actually familiar with Bowling Green herself. She is a WKU alum, so it's kind of familiar with the land, but different landscape as far as coming here to Centre. But we're very excited to have her here on our team.
Woo, go Tops!
So as we get started, I'm gonna go ahead and share my screen. If it's working, come on now. There we go. Hit present. Alrighty. If it wants to work. There we go. Alrighty. So this is almost everything you need to know about Centre College. So just to express how long we've been around as an institution, we started in 1819. So we've been around for quite a while. We're entering our 202nd year as an institution. So we're very excited about that. And just to show some growth over the years, we started off with 2 faculty members and 5 students in 1 building alone. So there's been a lot of expansion over those times, if you can imagine. But so we continue on. Centre has had a lot of accolades throughout those years. As you can see, we've been in top 50 lists, we've been in top 5 lists. We have over 170 acres of green on our campus. So we've definitely expanded over the years, and none of these accolades would have happened if the students who came along made it possible. So we're very excited to have these accolades, and we're very, very excited to tell you how we've achieved these accolades throughout the years. So everyone from Centre has their own story. Whether you're an alum or not, when you cross paths on this campus in and of itself, a piece of it kind of sticks with you, whether it be just a simple story or you'll see that word Centre used everywhere and reflect back to here in Danville, Kentucky. It got its word because we were really the center of Kentucky at one point. We actually have a mark on our campus around this area. If you can see my mouse moving over here, we have the actual mark of where the center of Kentucky was, but it has shifted since the demographics and geographic of Centre has shifted. But I think everyone from Centre has their own specific story of how it's stuck with them throughout the years. Now, where are we located? We're located in Danville, Kentucky. It's around 45 minutes south of Lexington, Kentucky, and almost around 2-ish hours away from you, if I'm not mistaken. So we're not too far away from home, and it's a comfortable enough position for you all to travel back and forth if need be. Danville in and of itself is quaint, is very nice and small. We have around a population of 17,000. So it's a place where everyone knows everyone, and it's just a big community in and of itself. It's around a 10-minute walking distance to get to actual downtown Danville from our campus. And there you'll find our bookstore, you'll find a host of bakeries, coffee shops, restaurants, little boutiques. It almost has everything you need on one strip of street. It's called Main Street, of course. But it's just a nice place, and one of the sayings of Danville and one of the things that you'll see on some of our water towers is that it's quite simply the nicest town, and that's proven to be true. Some people may say that there's a Centre bubble, but I beg to defer, as it breaks all the time. I mean, we have a lot of relationships with the folks here in Danville, whether it be via church, community service, philanthropy, or just working in and of itself. There's a big bridge as far as connecting Danville with the Centre community, and we're very happy to be a part of this town. City, rather. It is a city. It's a city of first. It's actually where the Constitution of Kentucky was signed. So Danville has a lot of great history in and of itself if you want to explore. Now, Center in and of itself, we have a population of around 1,400 students. So we're about the size of a high school. And I think that this is a little bit smaller than what Bowling Green has in their high school. So it's a little bit smaller, but because we are this size, you're not only going to have great interactions with the peers around you, but with your professors as well. And we'll get to that a little bit later, but let's dive into the student population. So around 52% of our students identify as female. You may wonder why I'm even telling you this stat. Typically at a small liberal arts institution like Center, that number is like 65 to 70%. So we're just showing that we're balanced. Also, we have 23% of students of underrepresented groups. So to put this into perspective, around 15 to 20 years ago, that number was 5%. So we have been increasing over the years, and it has been a bigger impact on our campus. And to be more expressive, we just enrolled in most diverse class in school history, with 27% of the enrolling class being of underrepresented groups. So we want to ensure that our campus reflects the world that our students will be diving into after they graduate. Another big makeup is around 6% of our students are coming from international places beyond the US. So you truly are going to be meeting people from all over the world when you come to a place like Center. Something that helps create those relationships is that 98% of our students live on campus. So we are a highly residential campus. Everyone gets an opportunity to live on campus. If you were to come visit, there are a host of different dorm options that you can choose from. Those 2% that live off campus is still walking distance away. And that can really count on my hands and feet how many students get the opportunity, as it's typically just seniors who live off campus. But other than that, everyone is here on our campus creating those relationships that they'll build throughout the years. Also, about the makeup in and of itself, we're split around 50-50. 50% of our students are coming from Kentucky and 50% are coming from elsewhere. So really, if you were to put a 6-hour radius around Danville, Kentucky, that's where the majority of our students are coming from. But we currently have around 41 states represented on our campus right now. And of course, those 14 countries outside the US. So again, you truly are going to meet people from all over the world here on this campus. Going back to the residence life, so as far as first year options, it is going to be your typical dorm room as far as 2 beds, 2 desks, 2 closet spaces, and a communal restroom. But it does get better as you progress up as a student here. Something that is really special about our dorms is that they're all co-ed by floor. So they're separated. So for example, one of our halls is called Nevin Hall. It is one of our popular first year dorms. And right now it's currently split female, male, female. Now, each of those floors each has at least 2 residence assistants, and it has a residence director living in there. So you will have a great host of resources to utilize if you were to ever run into any sort of troubles. But something special about these dorms is that you're really only going to be sleeping in there. So something, you'll be going over to your neighbors' rooms, or neighbors will be going over to your rooms. So the hall in and of itself is going to be a big community. And then as you progress up, you'll find some options like Pearl Hall, which has some kind of condominium-like options. And we just built a new dorm in Northside, and that has a lot of different options that you can choose from. There's actually one pod where you can sleep up to 16 people. Sounds intimidating, but I promise you it's only 2 per room. I think it has 4 restrooms throughout the pod, 2 studying spaces, and then a common living area in the middle of it. So it does get a lot better as you progress on here, but the first year dorms in and of itself is a great experience because you get to build those solid relationships as you continue on through the years here. This dorm right here is called the Brockman Commons. It's where a lot of our seniors get to live once they get up to that point. And you can sleep up to 6 people in these. There's 3 rooms, 2 people in each, 2 restrooms, and a common living area in the first floor. So there's different options you can choose from. You see these people hanging out at a fire pit. So there are a lot of great common living areas here on our campus. Now, reverting back to our size, since we are such a small populace as far as the undergraduate people, undergraduate students. We have a 10-to-1 student to faculty ratio. So this just means that you're not going to be a number floating around on campus. So faculty members are going to know who you are, the goals you wish to achieve, and how to get you to achieve those goals. Something that's very important and something that a lot of our professors have is they only allot 3 missed absences throughout the semester. So you're definitely going to be paid attention to in the classroom. I do know of a professor who has taken their whole classroom up to a student's dorm room to wake them up because they have surpassed that 3 missed absences. Thankfully, it was not me and it wasn't any of my friends, but it's something that can definitely happen. And I think that shows accountability, not only on your end, but it shows care on the professor's end because they want you to be a success while you're here on our campus. Now reflected in the classroom, the majority of your classes are going to have 18 students in it. All of our classes peak at 30, but the majority of your classes are going to have 20 students or fewer in it. So they actually get smaller as you go up in your major courses. Now, something special about Center is that you don't decide on a major until your sophomore spring semester. So we really allow you all the time between your first 2 years to choose one of these options that we have here. We have around 50 majors and minors you can choose from. And something special about the liberal arts education is that there is going to be a lot of interdisciplinary cross sections. So you're going to get a taste of really all of these and then end up making that solidified decision going into your junior year. There is a big advisory system that we have here. So your first and sophomore year, you're going to have an advisor to ensure that you're on track to a major. Once you decide a major, you're going to have an advisor to ensure that you're on track towards a graduation goal. Now, these pre-professional programs up here, they're not majors that you declare. It's actually a whole nother secondary advisor that you'll have to ensure that you can get to those secondary institutions. So if you want to go on to med school, receive your MBA, law school, engineering, dental, so on and so forth, that advisor ensure that you'll have the prerequisite classes needed to get to that secondary institution. They can seek any internship or research opportunity needed, a letter of recommendation, application, and hopefully acceptance into that secondary institution. Now, just to throw some examples out, as far as med school, our pre-med track is currently ranked 22nd, right behind Harvard's pre-med track, which is pretty awesome in and of itself. And we currently have an 83% acceptance rate in the med school. So you're more than likely going to be accepted to your first or second choice. As far as law school, we currently have around a 94% acceptance rate, and it may be higher as some students go into law school without telling anybody. So again, more than likely going to be into your first or second choice. And all these other options have similar results in comparison to those figures. Now, as far as these degree partnerships, we do have a dual degree engineering program with Washington University St. Louis and University of Kentucky. You can play with that number, as in some students find that they want to have their full college experience here on Center's campus. So you can expand that to a 4-2 option, meaning 4 complete years at Center, completing your bachelor's, and then 2 at the other institution, completing your bachelor's of engineering. Now, Washington University of St. Louis offers another 3rd-year program in their institution in which you can complete your master's. So it really depends on what you want out of this educational track. And with nursing and teaching, we do have strong tracks with Vanderbilt and University of Louisville, and you do end up getting your master's at the end of this track record here as well. And with these 2 options, it is a 4-year complete track here at Center, and then however long it takes at the other institution. You are allowed to self-design your own major. It may seem a little bit rigorous, but it's definitely something that you can accomplish. You do have the guidance of our academic office to help you throughout this process because you have to build that major with the curriculum that we already have to offer. Social justice actually started off as a self-design major, and now we offer it as a minor. So we are pretty transparent as far as showcasing what our students want to get out of their education here at Center. Now, no matter if you're a dramatic arts major or a chemistry major, everyone's going to be taught critical thinking skills, problem solving, and analytical thinking. Again, there's a lot of interdisciplinary cross-section. And I think that helps with postgraduate life because it shows that you're adaptable and it shows that you can be relatable on any level, no matter who you're in a room with. So it's definitely attractive to anyone postgraduate life as you're continuing on making your plans. Research at Center is something that's very important. It's something that you're guaranteed to have an opportunity to do so. And a lot of that happens here in Young Hall. And then you won't see it on the screen right here, but there's a hall across from this that's called Olin Hall that's actually been expanded right now to host more of those opportunities for our students. So we have bigger classrooms being made, and our lab equipment is being updated so that our students can take advantage of it. Now, there are some students who actually live on campus leading up to their first year, and they conduct research with professors and actually end up becoming published with them throughout the year. So it's definitely a great hands-on experience. And we have what's called the Center for Career and Professional Development, and they have a strong network in which they can seek these research and internship opportunities for our students. And we can find them for you in Danville. We can find it for you in your hometown. Over the course of the summer, we've sent students to New York City. We have strong relationships up there. We have strong relationships with people in DC, California, Florida, Texas, really anywhere we can find an opportunity for you. And the network that we use is the majority of them are our alumni. Sorry, RR together, it's a lot to put together, but our alumni network is pretty strong. We actually call ourselves the Center Mafia, and it really is because we are such a strong family, and we want to ensure that anyone who comes across this campus has at least one point of contact that they can get in touch with to see how they got to that position that they're in now. So it's a great networking system that you'll find being built here on Center's campus. Now, you may be wondering what our students do here on campus. There's actually a lot of activities that our students host. We host over 2,000 events and have around 90 clubs. Those are both student-led and student-driven. So if you don't see anything on campus that you'd like to bring light to, you can send a proposal to our student life office, and they can, one, get the club started for you, and two, they can bring speakers on campus or even get you off campus for more hands-on opportunities. Now, we also have what's called the Norton Center for the Arts, in which we have shows coming from all over the world, really. We've had the Shanghai Dance Crew come in. We've had African drum circles come in. ZZ Top's perform here, Jersey Boys, Journey, Styx, Foreigner. Most recently, Waka Flocka and Jack Harlow has performed in the Norton Center, and students get the majority of those tickets for free. So there are a lot of activities that you can find yourself taking advantage of. Now, almost half of our students participate in the arts, whether it be performing or visual, and something special is that you do not have to be a major to participate in those. So we'd love to see the chemistry major take the lead role in the school play, biology major take the lead in the orchestra, and the computer science major take the lead in the art shows that we're hosting. So it's open for everyone to take advantage of. Also, around half of our students participate in athletics. It makes sense that almost half of our students participate in that because we do have 21 teams across our campus to take advantage of. And I'll touch on this a little bit more on our next slide because we actually get to dive into some of our athletics. But another interesting stat is that 85% of our students participate in some sort of community service, and that's not a requirement from the college. I just think that kind of reflects what kind of culture we have here. And of course, you love to get back to Danville and Kentucky in general, and when you go back home to your hometown, you'll be a center ambassador, so that works into that figure as well if you do any community service there. Now, diving back into athletics, we are NCAA Division III and part of the Southern Athletic Association. And something special about Center is that no one is competing for a scholarship. So everyone is competing for the love of the sport, and I think that adds more appreciation to the sport at hand. And at Center, you're definitely going to be labeled as a student athlete. The professors understand that you're here for academics first and foremost. So if you need to leave practice early to study for a test, work on a project, or just knock out some work that you weren't able to accomplish throughout the day, as long as you're expressive about that, you will be able to take advantage of that time. I know a lot of first-year a lot of the teams have mandatory first-year study hours after their practice. And something that Center does very well is there's not a lot of overlapping. So all of our classes are between 8 a.m. and 4 p.m. And then from 4:30 to 7:30 is our athletic box. So there is no overlapping. And I mentioned that 3 missed absences throughout the school year earlier in this slide, but that works into the athletic schedule, surprisingly. So I played football at Center, surprisingly. So I've seen people take tests on bus rides, do homework, write papers. So again, you're definitely going to be a student athlete. Now, another guarantee is that you'll get an opportunity to study abroad. If you don't already have your passport as a first-year student, within the first 2 months of being a student here on campus, we offer a free one to get this journey started for you. Now, there's 3 opportunities throughout the school year that you can study abroad. And that starts your sophomore fall semester. So your first year, you're going to be familiar with Danville and Center in general. Your sophomore fall semester, you can go off to another country. So 2 of those opportunities are 3-month-long programs in the fall and spring term. And we have 9 countries in which we have our own housing and our own amenities that our students and professors can take advantage of. And you'll be over there in a different country with the center professor and other center students and working with the curriculum over there, but it still helps towards your graduation goal here. So for example, for students study abroad in London, you will be enrolled in the University of Reading, but all those credits will transfer back over here so you can get towards your graduation goal. Now name one of them. So the 9 countries they can choose from for the 3-month-long programs are England, France, Germany, Japan, China, Northern Ireland, Scotland, Mexico, and oh my gosh, I don't know how I missed the third one or the last one. I forget. I'm embarrassed. But there are 9 countries they can choose from. I promise you that. And again, we have our own housing and amenities that our students and professors can take advantage of. Now, that third option to study abroad is in the month of January. It's called Center Term. It's only 1 class for 3 weeks. So you really get to dive into specific studies and different educational activities throughout that time. It gets really diverse in that study abroad area. So we've sent students to Belize to study marine ecology, Cuba, Uganda, Ghana, Italy, Greece, New Zealand, the Bahamas, Finland, Thailand. So again, there's a lot of different options you can choose from. So you can see over 84% of our students study abroad once and over 30% study abroad more than once. We've actually had a student who studied abroad 7 times throughout her course at Center. So there's one point she didn't even step foot on campus. She was just going from country to country. It's pretty wild. It helps that she was an international studies major, but it also reflects how easy it is to be involved with our study abroad program. Here's some pictures of our students study abroad. If you don't find an opportunity throughout the regular school year, we also offer some summer courses. I know some sports teams study abroad throughout the time. Football has gone to Ireland. Field hockey has gone to Ireland. Men's soccer has gone to Italy for 2 weeks. So there's a lot of different explorations that you can find. This picture right here is actually students in Barbados studying monkeys over the course of the summer. So there's a lot of different options that you can choose from throughout your time here. They've heard me mention it a little bit, but the overall center commitment is you're going to be guaranteed those internship or research opportunities or a combination of both, and you can take advantage of as many of those opportunities as you'd like to. You can start your first year, work into your second year, or even wait till your senior year. It really depends on your discretion. You're also going to be guaranteed an opportunity to study abroad. Again, that's basically unlimited in and of itself too. And you're also going to be guaranteed to graduate in a 4-year frame. And I'll touch on that a little bit more in the next slide. But if none of this happens and it's the college's fault, you will get a 5th year tuition free. We have not seen this happen yet. Knock on wood, fingers crossed, all the good things. But in the chances that it does happen and it's the college's fault, you will get that 5th year tuition free so you can take advantage of what we have to offer here. Now you may be wondering how we make this work. We currently host and reign a 91% first-year retention rate. So this just means that everyone on campus, students included, are working to keep everyone on campus. Center is a place where community is something that's very special. So we want to ensure that it's a comfortable enough environment to want people to continue coming back. And that proves to be true, as I'll touch on one of the next points here soon. But in regards to our 4-year graduation rate, we currently have the highest in Kentucky. So to put this in perspective, if you were to take Center out of the 4-year graduation rate in higher education in Kentucky, it drops down to 30%. And with Center back into the equation, the next institution below us is 16 points below. So we're currently rating this 82% 4-year graduation rate. And again, you're going to be getting those opportunities, experiences within that 4-year frame onto your career path or onto a secondary institution of your choosing. And we're currently ranked #1 happiest alumni in the country. Again, we're a place that people want to go, they want to stay, and want to continue being a part of. So the Alumni Factor reaches out to college grads to, one, see how their college experience was, and two, see how it was postgraduate life. And it turns out we're the happiest. I'm very happy to be a part of that myself. And I think that reflects some of the donations that we have coming in. Really, anything added on this campus is all alumni driven. So whether it be a building, even down to a brick or a tree, it's all alumni donated. And I think that just reflects that we want to keep this ship going for the next 200 plus years. Now, another interesting point before I open the floor for questions, if need be. Another thing that we are very proud of is that we're currently averaging around a 97% success rate 10 months after graduating from Center. So over 2/3 of students end up being gainfully employed in these specific fields or beyond those fields. This is just specific for the class of 2018. And over a third will go on to advanced studies elsewhere. But all in all, over 2/3 of Center students will get a second degree at some point. We are a learning institution, so it makes sense that if we find a subject that we're passionate about further down the line, we'll go pursue that subject in another institution. So again, this 97% success rate is something that we're very proud of, and it just reflects those opportunities and experiences that our students can take advantage of to show how it can be beneficial after they graduate from a place like Center. All right, so I'm gonna go ahead and stop sharing my screen and open the floor for questions if need be.
I just want to say I learned so much. This was really wonderful. Thank you so much for your time.
Of course.
You all have a beautiful campus. It's one of the few in Kentucky that I have not had a chance to see just yet. So I appreciate the pictures and things. And I love the study abroad opportunities and the fact that students can really dive in and get those internships. I mean, the Center Mafia, come on, like how fantastic is that? And I really appreciate being able to hear more and learn about that. So I know that our students are gonna love hearing about that too. I always joke with my students about my old basketball career. I heard you talking about football. I tell them I was a beast in the paint. So imagine Clay out there, football in hand, tearing up the field. I think that's just fantastic. So thank you for all that you shared with us today.
Yes, ma'am. You're most welcome. Thank you for having us.
Yeah, my pleasure. Awesome. So students, I want to remind you that especially in more selective colleges like Center, it is so important to build a solid relationship with your admissions counselor. So you've got these folks here who are giving you information, and I hope that you will take the time to reach out to them and have them guide you through the admissions process and ask them questions and let them connect you with other students and other alumni and things like that. So did you mention already email addresses, phone numbers, things like that for students to reach out?
No, not yet, but I was just about to share in the chat option, but I'll actually change it in my name so that people can see it a little bit better. Mine's a little bit different. All right, so there's mine. It's c.taylor@center.edu, and Karina is pretty easy. It's just her first dot last name @center.edu.
Okay, and then students, I'll be adding that to the Virtual Chats website as well, so that you all have easy access to that and some other information from their website. So I can't thank you enough. Really appreciate the time today.
Yes, ma'am. Thank you all for having us.